Assalamu alaikum, my name is Arfa Farouk. I'm the co-founder of Muslim Tech Fest, and today I'm joined by Mai Medhat, one of our key speakers at Muslim Tech Fest. Mai is a exited founder where she founded Eventtus, which was acquired by Silicon Valley startup, and her new startup, Ginni AI. She's also actually spoken on stages with Barack Obama and Mark Zuckerberg. Mai, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you so much.
So, before we begin, I want to understand, I'm going to maybe give you a couple of minutes. I want to know your life story in 5 minutes. I want to know where you were born, bred, what you were like, and what ultimately led you to this world of startups.
Yeah, sure. I'm Egyptian, born and raised in Egypt, and I have one brother, and I think I'm a geek since I was a child. I like to do stuff. I got my first computer actually when I was in 5th grade, and I got fascinated by that, by the technology. I was like, I knew this is the thing I want to do for my life, and I was very active. I studied computer engineering. I actually did my first venture when I was probably 13, 14, like high school. I built my first website. I actually did my first sale. I convinced, I built a directory for restaurants and somehow convinced a restaurant across the street to actually subscribe.
Amazing.
Yeah. And yeah, during college, I used to attend a lot of exhibitions, conferences, workshops, and so on. So I'm a very extrovert person. I love networking. I love people. I love talking to people and meeting new people. And I think that's what drove me to do Eventtus. I saw an opportunity at events, and I think the one thing that got me very, very excited about it is you go to an event, everyone is there for something, for a mission. Everyone wants to meet new people, wants to make new businesses, new friends. And when we started, there was no platform to actually connect people or facilitate that networking. So it was a mix between serendipity and also luck. And I met my first investor at an event. I met my co-founders at an event. So we needed something to actually organize this or ignite these conversations so you can meet more people. And that was the idea of Eventtus. We started that in 2012 and spent 9 years working at Eventtus, scaled it from an idea to a team of like 50 plus people. We had 3 offices and we got hit with COVID as well. That's another story.
Yeah, I was going to say, how did COVID affect the events business? Because I know for myself, just doing the community building stuff, we just had to halt, pivot. I'd love to hear what you had to do then.
It was the hardest thing. Yeah, like literally we have seen all our revenues going to zero, all our businesses going down. I was getting calls from our customers asking like, what should we do now? Because their business is actually affected as well. So I think we went to the drawing board. At that point, we had the decision, like, should we move forward or we should, like, pull the plug and we call it off. And we decided, like, we built a mobile app for events. We have different components of the events. Let's reimagine what happens, what is a virtual event. And literally, we did lots of onboarding, lots of like brainstorming sessions with the team. We got everyone together and we read a lot about everyone talking about this new era. And we decided that we want to build a virtual platform. And what we did different, because by the time like everyone was building a virtual platform, Zoom was booming, Hopin here in the UK was booming and raising lots and lots of money. So we thought like, there should be something different. People will not spend 4, 5, 8 hours of their time on a computer watching some sessions or some people talking to their cameras. So there should be something different. So we did a mobile first approach, which is basically you can be cooking, driving, doing anything else, and you still watch the conference or watch the sessions. Or you can use it as a second screen. So, for example, you are watching and then like what you do in a normal event, you would be speaking, you would be chatting with someone sitting next to you or talking to people. So you can use it as a second screen. So we tried to reimagine what happened during COVID, what is a virtual event, and even beyond that, what's a hybrid event and how life will be. So we built for that, and thankfully 1 year from that, the company got acquired.
It's amazing kind of looking back on it, I can imagine, because like it's such an amazing USB to actually be like, actually, people don't want to be completely drained to their skin. Like I remember getting to this point with virtual events where you're just like, I just can't. But I love the idea of actually it's in the background, I can still interact with people, etc. Really kind of bringing that to life. How do you think COVID helped, I guess, in terms of like your exit as well?
I think COVID was like great to push us to think differently in different ways. Like honestly, I think the productivity we got during COVID, especially for us, like everything was at stake. Like the company were, if we keep going, we'll run out of cash very soon. We don't have any revenue streams coming in on the horizon, so we needed to do something different. And also, we were like overnight, we had to leave our beautiful office and work from home. Everyone was worried, everyone was stressed about family, about health, about different things. But at the same time, we needed to do something. So I think there was a shift in mentality in how we do things and what's important to be done. So, for example, since then, we were like 100% working remotely, even until now, even with my new startup, 100% remote, because I think we looked in, we understand what's important, how to communicate with the team, how to keep everyone productive. And the same for everything else, even with like sales, how you manage your sales process, how you meet with customers, how you promote your products and marketing and everything. So that helped in, I don't know how to describe it, but it was a big shift. And I think like now, we keep getting, we have the good stuff from COVID. And in terms of acquisition, I think it also helped because like Bevy, the company that acquired Eventtus, were also in the event space. So they were hit the same as us. And we just, like I emailed Derek, the founder, and they were a customer for us. So they were using Eventtus for 3-4 years before that. We had a good relationship, and we started talking from a founder to founder, like what does this mean? What this new reality means for us, for the business, for the industry. So we started talking, we started sharing experiences, challenges, ideas, and at some point it made sense for us to just join forces. It didn't happen actually in the first place. Like dynamics didn't work out, and then a few months later they got more mature, we got more mature, the products got more mature, and we kept the relationship going. So it made sense after that. So I think now, like, I'm grateful for this experience.
Yeah, I can imagine it was really tough to begin with. So Eventtus started in Egypt, and then you moved to UAE, I think it was?
Yes.
Well, how do you think that impacted, I guess, your business in terms of kind of, in one way, you're like so close to so many different countries, etc. I'd love to understand kind of that region and that ecosystem.
It was a natural actually move for the business. Like Dubai, by that time, 2015, it was the hub for events. It was booming from a business side. All of like the big corporates, they had headquarters in Dubai, and literally it was booming. And being there, I used to go back and forth and travel all the time, but for the business, it made sense. We needed to be where our customers are. We needed to be where the action is happening. So we moved there. It was easier actually to raise funds, more stable economy, and bigger events, bigger companies. I think this is where the company really started to kick off. And the beauty about Dubai is like you get exposed to different nationalities. I think it's very similar to here in UK. You get to meet a lot of different people, different culture, different nationalities, and you get exposed to a lot of things. And also it's a hub. Like there was always someone coming, visiting from somewhere. Again, very similar to London and UK. So it was great in getting, even with the team, I think the team in Dubai, we had different nationalities, and you name it, like everywhere. And it was great to actually have this mix within the team, and also upskill, like, or raise the bar for the team as well.
Amazing. Now talk me through your second startup. Tell us more about it and what inspired it.
Yeah, Ginni AI. So basically, it started from a personal passion for sales. With Eventtus, I used to manage sales for a very long time. I hired the team. I used to be very involved in sales. I was the first salesperson for the company, and like
you always are as a founder, right?
Exactly. And actually, like the trial and error you do as a founder, because most of the founders, they don't come from sales background usually, or like you have the passion for the space, or you're an engineer, so you know how to build a product, you have some industry knowledge, and you start building something. But hiring your first salesperson, hiring a sales leader to put a sales foundation and build
I'm about
the playbook.
to go through this myself.
Yeah, it's very hard, and it's also a lot of trial and error. Even if you hire someone, you don't know if this talent is actually the right talent you need right now for this stage of the company. So you need to be very involved with, and what happened if this person decides to leave, or it's not the right fit for the company. So you start all over again, and it's very expensive. It's very time consuming, which even more expensive for startups, because time is money. And so this is where I got very interested in sales, and also with Eventtus and then with Bivy, I used to be very close working with the sales team, and I saw how organized they are, how big it is, how big their support organizations like sales enablement, revenue ops, and all of that. And I thought, like, there's still a gap in this market, and someone needs to solve for it. And with AI, it's very interesting. Like, you can do more, you can do a lot of things if you enable your team, or you empower your team with some tools to actually sell more, to understand what's really happening with your sales organization, what customers are asking for, what they like about the product, what they don't like, what objections they give you. So all of that, this is like the passion I have. And we started experimenting, talking to founders, talking to sales leaders. And I think where we are today, like, I'm very proud of everything we achieved in a very short time. But basically, we're building an AI co-pilot for very focused on B2B sales teams, but also we're not only focused on SaaS or software businesses. We started expanding or looking into different industries, like traditional industries, like real estate, pharma, insurance, banking, like different other industries. They even don't have access to all the sales tools we have today. So we track sales calls, we analyze every single customer conversation, and we give you more insights that usually you haven't seen before. We try to analyze winning patterns, why this person on my sales team are actually selling more, what they do, how they say things. Sometimes it's like a magic word you say to this persona, and usually it's more than enough to seal the deal. So we're trying to analyze that and give you, as a company or as a management, we give you more insights and visibility on how to improve, what are the gaps, what are the opportunities, and so on.
I love that. It's really interesting because, I mean, I'm quite AI fanatic, and like, you know, I'll upload transcripts to ChatGPT, I'll get it to analyze and stuff. So actually something like this, I can totally kind of see like the real kind of need, especially for someone like myself who doesn't come from a sales background. You know, I'm constantly learning, and you know, it's interesting, right? I think it's that thing of, I don't like sales, but until you get that first check and you're like, oh my god, I did that, you know, but how did I do that? I have no idea.
Yeah.
So I think that's really, really exciting. I'd love to understand a bit more in terms of, so you've kind of, I guess you're building a new startup, you've built a startup. Between that, you became a mum. I'd love to understand from you in terms of, what do you think are the key differences, I guess, in terms of how you're managing your workload and just yourself, really?
Yeah, that's tough. I think being a mom, it actually, with all the case and everything happening around, you become much more efficient with your time. I think this is the key learning for me. Like, you have few hours, your kids are at nursery, and you need to get as much work as done in that little time. And also be more, I think, empathetic. So you have empathy towards other moms, dads, other parents who are actually working, because you can, some days, some mornings, you didn't sleep all over the night, or you wake up and your kid is sick, so you have to stay with them. So I think, again, um, uh, like it help you in putting things in perspective. What are your priorities? And I think for me, like, my kids are my number one priority. I want to be with them, and I want to be present and be there. And so I try to do everything else around them, try to involve them as much as I can, and also be, I think I think a big part of me is like accepting that some things changed or are not the same. With Eventtus, I used to live in a plane. I used to travel everywhere. I had a team in Egypt. I had a team in Dubai, so I was always traveling between the two countries. We had events everywhere, so we had like seasonality, like September, October time, and also like Q1 was crazy busy. I was literally in different country maybe every week, attending an event and meeting new people. Now this is not going to happen, and it's okay. It's a choice I make, because I want to be present for my kids. So my business, I need to manage it in a different way. I need to make peace with it. I think this is the biggest part, is like accepting and knowing what are your priorities. And I made the decision. I need to commit to it, and it's okay. Life happens. I think this is the biggest like change in mentality and also perspective for me. What's important? You don't. As a person, I have like you don't have to have FOMO anymore with every single event and people networking at different places, and it's okay. You don't have to be there. Like, the business needs to move on without that.
Yeah, I think what you say I really resonate with in terms of making peace, because I think there was definitely an element, especially when, I mean, my daughter's 3 now, but especially in those very early days where, you know, I've been invited to actually go to something like abroad in Doha or something like that. And I'm like, oh, I can't go. We just came back from a family holiday in Pakistan. There's no way we can go again. And, you know, I'm quite fortunate in the sense that my husband's quite supportive. So, you know, for Muslim Tech Fest, we went to San Francisco. We turned it into a family adventure. Yeah. And, you know, it's quite cute because she goes around going, MTF, Muslim Tech Fest. So that involvement thing, I think, is really important in terms of involving them in your journey so that they can also understand, stand and see, and also be proud of you, I guess, when they get older as well, right?
Yes.
But letting go, I think, is the hard bit, I find, and just being okay with that, yeah, you know, I'm not who I was 10 years ago, going to every single event. It's just not possible. There was another thing, a conversation that you and I actually had where I asked you about, you know, how to prioritize and goals. And that's something I actually started to do, where you basically said, just set your goals for the week and that's it. You don't have to do more, because as a founder, you can keep doing more. And yeah, that was definitely a really good reflection. Do you have any other advice for especially kind of working parent founders in terms of kind of how to kind of navigate kind of founder life? Because another thing I've also found is there are some parents out there who've done the corporate thing. They want to take the jump into startup land, but they're too scared to let go of the safety, etc. Any advice or anything for them?
I think having a support system is very, very, very important, especially your partner or your family, if you have family around. But like, having this support system and like, as you said, traveling, you have to coordinate with someone else. Someone needs to stay with kids. So all of that it needs a village, and also because it's very tough on its own. So as a founder, you need support system. You need people to lift you in when things doesn't go your way. It's either other founders, family, partners, but you need people to keep you pushing, and it's the same. I think the other hack I do is basically I work whenever I can, but not on the weekends. Like, for example, I work I work this like 1 or 2 hours on Sunday evening or whenever. Like I take an hour to organize my week, and I build my to-do list. This is the goals. This is the list of things I need to get done during the week, and I set like 1 or 2 very important goals I want to achieve, and that's it. If I achieve them, I have a good week. If not, I will try to make it happen as much as I can, and then it's okay. Like move on. I think also another part is like delegation. You need to surround yourself, again, support system. It's not only about family, but also like co-founders, team, your first like key hires. If you have good people in place and you trust them, they will do the job. So you need to also, again, part of like letting go. You don't have to be involved. You don't have to do everything on your own or yourself. You need to let go and put a strategy, put a good plan. I think it helps you in like I don't know, but like having a good strategy become like better strategy, better negotiator even with your kids. Like you need to get them out of the house. So you need to negotiate a lot of things. But this skill actually is something that you can use at work as well.
That's a really, negotiating with a toddler is definitely probably hard, very hard.
I have twins, so it's double the work, double the negotiation, double the trouble, everything.
Yeah, I can't even imagine. So how do you see AI evolving in the next 5 years? AI agents seem to be really cropping up, especially I would say probably within the last month. It seems to be everywhere. How do you think that will impact life?
It will keep growing. It will keep getting better and better. I think there's a little hype around AI and what AI can do about like replacing people and taking jobs. But I think like I really, really believe AI is a superpower. And if you learn how to use it, how to make it work for you, you would be 10x faster, smarter, getting things done 10x what you can do, like more efficient. I think this is where we're heading. It's not about replacing, but it's about having less people doing much, much more impactful work.
And if people go on to do more impactful work, how do you think governments, etc., can support them to do that? Because there's always that danger, right, where if the right systems aren't put in place, then it won't happen.
Like any new technology out there, I think we'll see everything that we saw before with different waves. So eventually it will get regulated in the right way. But I think too much regulation early on, it means we're not using the full power of the technology. So it needs to be balanced. And I think we are at a stage where everyone is still learning, exploring, and knowing the potential of this technology. So I think it's too early. It's risky. Like sometimes it's scary what we can do with AI, especially with like videos and what you can do with like voiceover and deep fake and all of this stuff. But on the other side, like the things you can do on your own with AI is amazing. Like now I do stuff I didn't even imagine I could do in very little time. So it's really a superpower. We'll see.
What's your favorite LLM?
I'm a big fan of OpenAI. Yeah.
I'm the same. I think it's because it knows me so well now.
Yeah.
It's hard to switch.
I also like consistency.
Yeah.
So somehow it's good quality, it's consistent. This is what I like about it.
Awesome. Moving on to Muslim Tech Fest, so really excited to kind of have you kind of do a talk there. So why do you think events like Muslim Tech Fest are important?
We need to get the community together. We need to, again, support system. So this is our own support system. We need to get businesses recognized. We need to support each other, and like the energy and the type of speakers we have, like I saw the list. I think it's amazing. People will get very, very inspired, and I think people coming together, they have the same they have the same values. I think this is amazing to see like what you believe in and what your like religion tells you. There's other leaders who actually did this, and they have the same beliefs within the community and within like everything happening around us, and they are very successful. They are role models, and you learn from them. I think I personally, I get very inspired by seeing other people and what they achieve, and it gets me very motivated to actually keep moving and working forward.
Amazing. So your talk will be about some key lessons from your exit. Why should someone come and listen to your talk?
It will be a very interesting talk. It will be very honest. I promise you, very honest conversation, very honest story about what happened, how we exited, the story behind it. And if you are a business owner and you're looking at some time to exit your company, I will tell you all about like the ins and outs and what to do, how to prepare yourself and prepare your company to actually go through this phase.
You once shared a stage with Mark Zuckerberg and Barack Obama. What was that like? Because I know there was a lot of hype in Egypt that followed after.
Yeah, that was crazy. It was a life-changing experience, to be honest. It was amazing and scary, very scary. And I hope I did well. Like, believe it or not, I never watched that interview. Like, I never, because it's too intimidating and too, I don't know, it's scary. But it was amazing. I think the best part for me is being a representation for my country, my region, like representing the Middle East and representing startups and what we can do, and also what we can achieve, and having like a one conversation. It's amazing.
What's stopping us from building the next big tech company? We've got the Google, we've got the Amazon, we've got all of that. They're not founded by Muslims. What do you think is stopping us as a community?
Nothing. I think we have the talent. Like all the good names, all the good companies you mentioned, they actually have a lot of Muslims in there and a lot of Arabs in there, and in top management and in very key critical positions. So we have the talent. I think what we are lacking is building the support system, like the ecosystem itself, to push the talent. And also, which I think it's started to change right now, but we had this mentality or traditions, or I don't know, but like the American dream is like everyone in Silicon Valley, you know, that you can do it, you can go on, you can raise money, there's availability in funds, and VCs will give you money to just try something. And also the mentality of like losing is not, or failing is not like a bad thing. You need to try, and then your next time will be better. Like you learn and you adapt and you change and you keep learning and you build a better company next time. I think this is what we need to have as a community.
Any books or podcasts that you would recommend?
Yes, Lenny's podcast, great one for like product managers, but also I find it very, very useful for founders and business leaders in general. Books, oh wow, the list is very big. I really like the It Will Never Work by Mark Randolph, the founder of Netflix. It's about the story of Netflix, and it's a great book. Also, The Hard Thing About Hard Things.
Amazing. Any final advice for kind of aspiring entrepreneurs?
Keep going. It's very hard. It's hard for everyone. It's not only about you. It's hard to build a business and get something successful from the ground up. But it's amazing learning journey. So embrace the journey and just keep moving.
Amazing. Thank you so much for coming along. Really excited to hear your talk at Muslim Tech Fairs. Guys, make sure you come buy your tickets now.